Bryant Family Medicine All Sport Media presents the Wednesday Sliders. Along with me is Mark Gregory and Ryan Scott Garnett. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Well, I'm thankful that you finally decided to launch this show for one thing, and you didn't even do a countdown or anything like that. You didn't even play that funky music that you was playing for us. So you just let just jump in there both feet.
Well, yeah, I mean, there ain't no sense in wasting time. I don't ever do a countdown, Mark.
That normally happens when you're 5 minutes late.
Even when I'm 5 minutes early, I still don't do a countdown.
Have you noticed
Tell
that
them,
about
Ryan.
Have you noticed that about Edward? He's always fashionably late.
Uh, uh Not really.
Say, I'm never late. I'm on my time.
Yeah, your
My
time's
time's
already
always early.
your time's always about 15 minutes behind schedule.
And say, I'm gonna have to fire you because you ain't you know,
Well, I'm still in the process of waiting for my jacket to come in, and it's going to be a nice jacket, with the emblem in the back, and it's going to look really, really good.
Yeah, I've got my shirt is I think in the wash machine if I'm not mistaken. I've got to put it in the dryer at some point tonight.
well, we did have, you know, a huge show today, but unfortunately, one of our guests had some things pop up, and she's not going to be able to make it on today. But I still, I'm going to try to get her on later on. But you know, at this point in time, I still got some of her stats and stuff, and I'm gonna go over them a little bit and get y'all's thoughts on her. So Emily from Leslie County. Let me get my old handy dandy notebook out here. She's just a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. And right now she has 82 strikes, 13 RBIs, two stolen bases. Her batting average is a 350. She's got 16 hits, and that's only in a 22 game span. And she's played, all the way back, going back to eighth grade. So, you know, starting with whichever one of y'all want to go first, kind of give me your thoughts on, remember it's only a 22 game span, also.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
not.
anybody. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to tell you, I did happen to cover Leslie County Dale when they played at Bell County. It was a very cold night, snowing. I would want to mention everybody, but she still pitched a very well pitched game, and I love the way she pitched and everything, and it makes it a very fun pitcher when you have a pitcher like that.
Yeah, anybody that young that's performing that well on the mound, they should get recognized, and that's what we're in the business for, is to recognize these student athletes, promote them, and again, we spoke about it quite a bit on your show. That this show just ain't only 13th region. Mine's mainly 13th region, but this is more expanded, and we'd love to have her on because just what you showed us right there just proves what kind of a student athlete that she is. But there's things called situations that pop up that things are out of our control. These ain't recorded shows, so of course we're going to deal with the glitches and just things that just are not in their control that happens, that leads up to these types of events.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and
I'm still gonna go ahead, Ryan.
had to cough through this second, but you can go back to Mark. I'm gonna go piggyback off what Mark said. You have to look at her. It's not just her performing that at that young of a grade level, but it happens probably all the way through the state of Kentucky. and we don't hear about it. We will here in this small area in southeastern Kentucky. Uh, it may happen in western Kentucky, northern, whatever, but I'm sure this happens everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm sure it does.
See, I had like the perfect question. I was gonna say, off the top of your head, name a star athlete that's come out of hiding, and see if she would have said like maybe Tim Couch or something like that. But that was one of my questions. I had it ready, but
That's the only one I can think of who came out of hiding.
on the subject of that, I don't know how true it is, but again, somebody might be able to comment on me and just tell me how crazy that sounds. But somebody said that Tim Couch had made enough through his NFL contracts and through endorsement deals that he could almost bought the whole town of Hyde. I don't know how true. Maybe it's different now, but at one time it was a pretty small town over there.
The last time I was up there,
Yeah.
it was still. All I can remember about the town is I know they got a Dairy Queen.
Well, you can't go wrong with Dairy Queen.
See here, fellas.
I
I was
didn't
hoping
bring
we
up
was gonna get
I did not bring up the food this time. You need to blame Ryan on this. Ryan's the one
here.
that
I
brought up
thought
the
we was
food.
going. Well, maybe next week we'll be able to get through a show without mentioning food. But
I would
probably
like to
not.
have a hot fudge sundae though, with the fudge and the little peanuts on the top.
See what you did, Ryan. Now you got him drooling over.
I I do not like the
That
blizzards.
sounds good to me too.
And I still ponder why in the world that when you buy a blizzard that they hold it out there, they flip it up like, okay, I believe you. It's not gonna fall out of my cup. It's gonna melt anyway about 2 minutes after I get down the road anyway. So why are you doing this number to me? Just hand me the blizzard. Let me start eating it.
Well, I do have intentions on getting her on again. In the next upcoming weeks. I'd love to get her on, get to talk to her, and get her thoughts on her season and stuff like that. So I do have intentions on bringing her back on, but I want to talk a little bit about because you was talking about it, like you got all these like Cal Ripken experiences, and then you've got some of these Florida softball beach bashes and the Florida baseball beach batch it, yeah, that word going on right now. But a few weeks ago we had a young lady on that played for a team that's actually in Cal Ripken experience, and I've actually been researching their team a little bit and putting out a few stories about them. But talking about Hazard, they're I don't know if you all looked at it and researched them as much as I have, but right now they're red hot right now too, also in softball. But that not only them, if I ain't mistaken, Mark, you do a lot of coverage on them, but I'm pretty sure Jackson County is on a 3-game win streak and just come off a big win over, I'm gonna consider one of their rivals.
Yeah, and I absolutely. It's hard not to turn a blind eye with what Jackson County. We had the Moore kid on earlier in the year. We know what Candace Williams is all about. One of the best pitchers in the state, in the country. I'm not gonna say state. I'll say in the country. Go watch her play. It just but the hitting. The one thing that's striking me about Jackson County is the pitching's going to be there, but all of a sudden they're putting the bats on the ball, and that team just looks different this year. It feels different for Jackson County. I'm telling you, I'm not going to say that they're the favorites, but they're one of the favorites in this All A coming up, and just go watch them. Go watch them. Go look at the head-to-head matchup. Look at the common opponents, and then tell me why Jackson County would not be one of the favorites, if not the favorite, going into this all A.
I mean, I have to agree with you. You know, I actually put out a little article. I think it was maybe Monday about April the 1st when the KHSAA released their stat leaders, and you was just talking about
Yeah,
her, but
and
Candace
just
Williams in strikeouts, she is number one in the state right now with 98 strikeouts.
Rachel Howard, Candace Williams, Kenzie Williams, Abby. Correct me if I'm wrong. Abby Bowling, Clay County. Georgia Carnes Camp, Allison Messer. I'm gonna throw her on the mound too. Really good, solid pitcher. Um, just I'm trying to think of these pitchers off the top of my head. I know that there's several more that I'm forgetting here, but this region is loaded with pitching. Really, really great pitching, and it's hard. And again, I'm excited. I'm excited not who's going to come over 13th region and stuff like that, but I'm excited for this all A that's fixing to fire up. I think April 8th. I think Lynn Camp and Jackson County plays if I'm right. I don't know who Pineville.
Pineville plays Williamsburg.
Yeah, Pineville opens up. That bit. Uh, Pineville's really good. We know how good Pineville is, but we've seen Williamsburg firsthand. They can play. They can play, and that's not going to be an easy matchup for Pineville. And Coach Daniels will be the first to tell us that's not going to be an easy matchup for them. But turning it around, that's not going to be an easy matchup for Williamsburg either. That's two really really good teams playing, but this all A is going to be really really fun this year. Really fun, and I can't. I'm honest. I can't wait till that gets started.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I'm gonna say something about the LA. I mean, you go back to Jackson County's 3-game winning streak. I mean, the last 3 games they're outscoring the last 3 opponents 34-0 in the
Yeah,
last 3 games.
yeah. And one of them games, Ryan. If you're looking at that schedule, they beat Clay County,
Yep.
and that's where I go to common opponent. And Clay County beat Lynn Camp. Clay County, I think, squeaked by a one on the low. I believe it's 1-0 against Pineville. Am I right? So
You're
when you
correct.
start
yeah,
looking at common opponents there, but that also shows you also about how well North Laurel's playing, because if you look at that schedule, North Laurel, beat Jackson County. There's some really good teams in this region, and but this all A, it's close. There's 3 to 4 teams right there. I mean, there's more than that, but that's going to be really really interesting.
And the game
it
that we're not
is.
talking, and the 2 teams that we're not talking about, they play each other on the opposite side or whatever, however it goes. There is Middlesbrough and Marvel. I mean,
Absolutely,
them two
absolutely.
teams. You don't walk on them 2 teams either.
And Edward has
And Ryan,
educated us
me
about
and
a
you
really really good
watched.
pitcher.
Ryan, me and you covered Barville firsthand, and we got a real solid pitcher from Barville coming on, and it she when she gets onto that, I don't know if you call it the mound or the pitcher circle, but when she's in there, I mean, she can throw strikes just as good as anybody. I mean, she can turn it on, and we've seen that firsthand there, Ryan. And then same way with Millsboro, I've got to cover them, quite a few times, and Millsboro's got dual pitchers. They got Kenna and Kaylee Lawson, so you can't sleep on either one of those 2 teams either. Because if you're going to sleep on them, you're badly mistaken because they're well rounded.
Yeah, it's absolutely the LA is absolutely wide open and just great. You know, we could name a great picture on about any team on any team, and just really love the balance of that. But I will harp back a little bit on Jackson County. I've seen them firsthand. Uh, that team looks different this year. We knew the pitching would be there, but the hitting is what's. And can I honestly say that? Do you agree with me? The hitting is what separated them this year.
I
The
would have
offense is
to.
there,
I
and
mean, I agree.
that's just a train right now, right there. It's just absolutely rolling, and but you know they play bigger schools, but you know all of our teams that none of our teams back down from anybody, and you know they have to deal with Clay County and North Laurel firsthand every year, and we know how good North Laurel is. North Laurel, you know, they've been the best of the best. They play the best of the best, and you know, and I'm interested. I guess that they North and Jackson County has another matchup on down the road, if I'm guessing. But I would that's going to be very interesting because Jackson County is a different they're a different component to what they was when they first met North Laurel.
Yeah, and if you look at Jackson County's pitching or whatever, and I mean they have a team pitching ERA of 2.89, which
Yeah,
is not a bad ERA to begin with. I mean, and the hitting is about 336
yeah.
if I'm looking at that correctly on my phone here. So I mean you see it.
But you know, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I can't wait till it starts.
Okay, either while we're waiting on our first guest there, you mentioned her earlier, Rachel Howard. I gotta throw this out there because looking at that stat line also, earned run average. She is number 13 in the state with a .88 ERA. And
That
while we're
just
thinking about it, we're going to go ahead and bring our first guest on here, Mark.
can you imagine 8.8 ERA? I mean, if you're Bible, if you say we score one run, we can win this game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Did y'all get hit with any of this nasty weather that we've had
Yeah,
today?
pretty bad. It's a lot of wind and rain.
Well, first off, I do want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show,
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
and you're making a lot of noise this season for sure because you're in the top on a lot of statewide stats. And one that sticks out to me right out the gate is your batting average, but I've got to ask you about your stolen bases. You're number two in the state on stolen bases. How do you make that just look so easy like you do?
I mean, all right, we know our coach has our timing down on it's called UCLA, and we go off the letters. So just time it up like that, and gotta stay aggressive on the base path.
Well, Mark, before I start asking all the questions, I'll give you and Ryan a chance.
Uh, I don't know if you can answer this. I don't want to have you let out your coach's secrets or anything. But UCLA, what do you mean by that, or
It's
could you
just
explain that a little bit?
it's just the timing. It's just like what we say in our head. Like when he's gonna lift his leg up, it's like counting 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
If he goes on 3, then we take our jump on 3. So
Well, just overall, what's the thoughts of your season so far as a team?
I mean, we've shown glimpses of what we can do. I think we're a fairly good team at times. We just got to stay consistent.
Um, Edward harped upon it a little bit about the weather, and we know we had some hard storms here last night. It just rained here about 30 minutes ago. I live in Whitley, but with all the rain and the weather, and Has that interfered a lot of your practices and stuff?
Uh, yeah, a little bit. Not too much though.
Um, how hard is it to not get in all your full practices and still be able to perform the way you want to?
Well, I mean, we usually go and hit, and so we find a way to do something.
Okay.
So
Ryan.
It's time to just talk about what your coach Patrick, and I'm not even trying to pronounce his last name because I'm bad at pronouncing any names. What's he meant to your team this year and everything?
we mean,
Like, how's he improved y'all from last season to this season?
well, he's worked on a lot of fundamentals. So, and he's helped us a lot just by fundamentals. That's all we do day in and day out is just straight fundamentals. So I think that's helped us a lot.
And then, I mean, do you think the schedule that y'all have played so far has it prepared you for when you get into district play and later on down the road?
Yeah, I think so.
Edward?
All right. So I put a graph together. If I'm not mistaken, you have been playing. Is it since seventh grade
Yes, sir.
with? So you've got to play with the varsity team and the Jackets, quite a bit. And
Mhm.
I went back and kind of put this together with some of your stats, and I'm gonna try to get Ryan here to use his good eyes for me if he can see it.
I always do. uh, Isaac Hill has 79 strikeouts, 54 RBIs, 62 stolen bases, 6 home runs, 77 hits in 89 games.
So I got to ask you about your home runs for for starters, because it looked like your home runs started coming real heavily. Your freshman season. Did you just start getting more into like a rhythm on hitting?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So playing with the varsity, since seventh grade all the way up to now, because if I'm not mistaken, you're a sophomore. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So playing with them since seventh grade till now, how much has that, helped you during your time, for this season?
Um, I think it's helped because I've seen the faster pitching more earlier, and just see what they did for now. So I think it's helped a lot.
So, so I do got to ask you, since you do both, you hit, you pitch. Which one do you prefer more? Do you prefer striking somebody out, or you prefer just hitting the long ball and selling it over the fences?
I think I like hitting a lot more, but I like pitching a lot too because you control the game and all that.
So on pitching, I've done some hitting, but I've not really done a whole lot of pitching. Going into like those deep innings, how do you keep yourself to where you're not like losing all your momentum and like your arm strength? How do you just stay consistent with that?
I just try to stay in. I just try to get in a rhythm, and I don't really know. I just try to stay in rhythm. Try
So
to keep myself slowed down. Not trying to speed up myself or anything like that.
so I've got to ask you. This is one of my favorite questions to ask. You know, outside of the regular season, what do you do on the off season to keep yourself ready for the following season?
Well, this summer, me and my friend, we just hit and lifted every day. So I'd usually hit or lift if I'm not practicing.
Okay. And so I am looking at your schedule over here. You've seen from the teams that I know of firsthand on here. that you've got to see several different styles of pitching, and I know you've got to see one that Crawford throws upwards in the 90s on pitching. So being able to see all those different styles, how do you think that's going to help you when you get into like the district and the region place?
Well, I think it'd be easier to time up because if you've seen it before, it's a little easier to get your hands to it. But I've never really seen Crawford. I've never faced against Crawford, so everybody around here kind of just throws the same. So pretty easy to stay consistent on that.
So I've got to ask you because when I'm sitting there watching, I see some of these, the baseballs, the softballs, they come at such speed and velocity
Mm-hmm.
that I can't really see what's going on. But I see a lot of you student athletes be able to tell if it's going to be, a ball or if it's going to be a strike to swing at. How does your, I guess say your field vision, how do you get that worked into where you can be able to see that ball as quick as it's coming?
I mean, I don't know. It's just you got to see it a lot. You got to, in practice, I tell my coach to speed up the pitching and place it different places where it'll be like game lock. Flip a couple curveballs just so I can see that. So I think that helps for gameplay.
Well, Mark, before I continue,
A user had again when we get comments, it says Facebook user says that you had 3 home runs in 8th grade, which is really good. 4 as a freshman. Uh, I know it's hard in high school about getting it measured, but is there any certain game that stands out front? It stands out more than the other. Maybe a game that you thought maybe the hardest you've ever hit a ball.
Probably Whitley County at home last year. The first at bat I hit opposite side. It stayed in, but I think that was a well-pieced ball. That really stands out.
Are they? I mean, me myself and I couldn't do that. But if I was lucky enough to hit a home run,
Mm-hmm.
I'd get up there and I'd hit it. And I'd just probably do some kind of like stare at it or a flip. I mean, do you ever do anything like that, or do you just run your bases, get it over with?
I just run the bases. Coach don't like shows.
Yeah, I understand that. That
I mean,
keeps you out.
I definitely like to, but
So you'd like to get up there every now and then, maybe try to call your shot, but the coach wouldn't let you.
nah.
I'd be like that too. But just you've been a sophomore. You got a couple more years. How's the upperclassmen? I know coach has helped you a lot, but how's some of the upperclassmen help you get to the point that you are right now?
They just brought me in and taught me the things they do and how they did it and stuff they do in the cages out of practice and how they warm up, which I think helps a lot, and how they stretch, and they just show me how they do things so I can pass it on to the next person.
Uh, it's we know that you're very talented, but is baseball your favorite sport, or
Yeah.
are you leaning to okay? But Ryan, I'll let you finish up with.
Has there been one certain type of game that when you face somebody that you love to play them, or does it matter who you play? I guess.
Probably Whitley County. I like playing Whitley County.
And since Mark lives in Whitley County, are you friends with anybody on like Whitley County's team, or
Yeah.
or do you not like kind of to hang around with some? I kind of tell one of your
I'm
questions, Mark.
So Isaiah, they like a little trash talking involved. The reason why you like to beat Whitley County.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, but it's all in whatever the word it is, all in good whatever.
Yeah.
All in good fun.
Yeah, good fun. So you worded it for me.
So I had a few pictures sent to me, and I like to make a graph for every one of the student athletes I come on.
Mhm.
And Mark all the time tells me he likes them, but most of the time I can't believe him because that's Mark for you. But after the show, they will be released. I can send them to you too if you want it. But I just kind of want to get your thoughts on it and see what you think about it.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
And so, but Witcher again, that will be yours. I can send it to you, and of course it'll be on our pages and stuff too. But my last couple questions I got for you, I've always got to ask this: is through your time playing, has there been a certain game that you have liked playing that you liked playing in more than any other that you played in?
My 8th grade year at Harlan, because it's just all trash talking. I was pitching against them, and it's just all trash talking. I just like to shut them up, by winning. The only way to shut them up is by winning. So that was my
Did you ever make the gesture like that?
yeah.
I would have had to have too if I could pitch, but
Yeah, strike them out and then.
I'm not going to try to.
Yeah.
But so has there been a certain player that you like playing against more than any other player?
Mm. I just kind of see them all the same as competition, just beat everybody. So I think about every player is the same. I don't really have a really favorite, but
And my final question I got for you, and I'm assuming I probably know the answer to this question, but is there a certain game that you're looking forward to playing in that you have highlighted this season?
Whitley County. At Whitley County.
So do you prefer to play them at Whitley County or at home?
I mean, I like playing at Whitley County more than playing at home.
Well, the good deal about traveling to Whitley County, you probably don't have to load on the school buses or anything like that, do you?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you still take? Oh, yeah, you still have to take the bus as a team.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, do either one of you got any other questions for him?
I just say keep on keeping on. The works there. Been watching you now for a couple of years. You can see the progress is coming along. You're definitely bigger, stronger, faster. That term. Just keep on keeping on. With you and your team, and sky's the limit for you. And been a really, really good interview. Enjoyed every minute of it, and can't wait to get down there and cover you in one game.
Yes, sir.
And I do want to thank you again for taking the time to come on and accepting the invite. And just like I said, I'll send the graphs to you. And best of wishes for the remaining part of your season, and best of luck at the Whitley County game.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great interview.
Yeah, I understand. I understand about you. I guess there's a policy that the team has to travel together to the, but when you live a quarter of a mile or whatever it is, I mean, I don't know. Well, still have to load on the school bus, but I'm sure that's team or school policy, but I just don't understand that.
Well, Mark, we're gonna bring on this picture we was kind of
Maybe
letting you
Caitlin
know
will.
about.
Yeah, maybe she will let us know about that. Caitlin, before it ever starts aggravating you, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Uh, so, like, if you're playing a really close school, I'm gonna say maybe Knox Central or something like that. Do you still have to load? You have to load on the school buses, right, to go to the game, and then after the game, the parents or something can bring you home.
Way down for Knox Central now.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think of a close school to you. Link Camp.
Yeah.
Well, do you have to do the school buses there?
Yeah.
Okay. So that like a school policy?
Yeah.
Okay. See, she's educated us on it.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is your junior season, correct?
Yeah.
So, before I go into the stat part, I just want to get your thoughts on, the way your season's going.
We've started out the season slow, but our team has a lot of young players, and I think we're really improving from seasons before.
All right. And well, before I go into asking a whole lot of questions, Mark, I'll let you ask yours.
Just thoughts on your team and your season so far.
I think we've been playing pretty good. We've made a few mistakes, but we just learning from the mistakes.
Um, just uh, just speak a little bit about your coach and how it's helped you.
Um, she's really broke down like the fundamentals of the game. We've been doing a lot of drills, just working on fundamentals and stuff.
Uh, um, you do go by Caitlin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Caitlin, I've asked this to several others, and we've had a lot of weather, a lot of rain, a lot of cold spells. Has that interfered with your team and your practice progression?
This week it has, yeah.
So do you feel like you're where you need to be at this point in time, or maybe the practices has slowed that progress up a little bit?
Slowed it up a little bit.
Okay. Um, Ryan.
Uh, I know you. Me and Edward did cover you all the other night down at Pineville. Uh, is that something that when you went into the game that you wanted to kind of win the game and play good with it being a district opponent?
Yeah, we always try to go into the games with a good mindset.
And to kind of just talk about coming up here. I mean, you got Middlesbrough, Indiana Lake coming up. Y'all did play them once before at Middlesbrough. Uh, what do y'all have to do to try to get past them the second go around and to try to advance into y'all?
The first time we played them, we played them really good. It was just a one-run game. So I think if we play how we are capable of playing, then it should be another good game.
Edward?
Well, so, Caitlin, I did make a few graphs, and this one right here, I'm actually going to I'm going to use Ryan's good eyes so that way he can kind of read these off for me.
Caitlin, can I ask you something? Do you think you got better eyes than Ryan?
Maybe.
She ain't gonna answer that one. I can't read them.
Caitlin Hill. I'll get it there. Caitlin Hill has 194 strikeouts, 256.2 innings pitched, one stolen base, five doubles, 23 hits, and 57 games played.
So, I just got to ask, what kind of, work do you have to, or going into the off season, what all do you have to do to be able to maintain, that level of work and pitching that you do?
You just have to practice on your off days when you don't have practice.
And talking about your schedule, because I heard you talk about that when you played Millsboro, it was just a one-run game. You know, basically every game I'm looking at, you all was right there with them, and you being one of the key factors, with your pitching. So what do you think that you have to do to just get over that hump?
Just get in a good mindset before the game and get our bats going.
Uh, I gotta ask you because when you was on the do you call it the mound or do you call it the pitcher's circle? First off,
Both, but normally the pitcher's circle.
because I asked Ryan that question the other day and he wouldn't answer it for me. So when you're when you're in the pitcher's circle, do you just is it like laser focused when you're out there pitching, or do you or like how do you be able to keep like paying attention to like the runners trying to steal bases and everything?
I try to just ignore everything and just try to focus on the catcher.
So I got to ask you. I covered Barville quite heavy in you know basketball season, and I got to see how the fan base was there, and I seen how the fan base was at an away game for you all in softball. So tell me how like the atmosphere and the fan base is at your home games.
They're they're really good. Whether we're up or down, they're always cheering. No matter what happens.
I would I would have to agree because from what I've seen, especially at the Pineville game we was at, your fan base is always there. But now I've got to ask you, you know, playing because if I ain't mistaken, you played with Barville since you was a freshman. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So playing over that time, how did that help you get to where you're at this time?
Just practice. Just
So I got to the before I let Mark go back into asking questions. I know in a pitcher you have like several different styles of pitches that you can throw. Is there one that you like more than others?
I like throwing curve and drop balls.
So the drop ball, explain that to me a little bit. What kind of like pitch is that one?
It goes over the plate and then it drops right before it gets to the catcher's glove.
Mark, you got anything else over
Um, I know you spoke about practice quite a bit, but are there anything extra you did, like maybe travel ball or anything like that during the summertime or off season?
I did summer leagues for like the past 4 or 5 years.
Um, what team have you played for?
Just like Knox counties, like
Oh,
little leagues.
okay. Uh, um, talking about, I'm not calling you old, but you played for a few years. Just off the top of your head, some of the other 13th region girls, if you had to name maybe a top five that you played with, other than your teammates, could you do that?
Um, Georgia on Link Camps, Rachel Howard, um, Lauren Parton, Charity on Link Camp. Mm, I don't.
Yeah, well, that's good. But I'm just talking about, you named three Lane Camp girls there, so I'm sure there's a lot of mutual respect and stuff like that. Um, you, you seemed a little quiet spoken at times. Or do you consider yourself like me? I'm the ultimate trash talker. When you're in the games, do you trash talk or do you just do your deal there?
Hmm. Don't really trash talk now.
When you strike somebody out, you're not pointing at them or giving them a gesture or anything like that.
No.
Um, on the drop balls, like if I was pitching to Edward, I would probably try to put some grease or some vegetable oil or something. I mean, you don't do anything like that, do you? To make the okay, I'm just checking. I would do that. Somebody say like makes your pitches drop more, but are they truth to that? Or have you ever even tried it just goofing off or anything?
I've not
Oh,
tried
oh,
it.
no. I was just checking, but yeah, uh, when they covered you the other night, it was nothing but high praise, and I've watched a little bit of you, and you can definitely see you know the progress of the hard work it's coming together, and have you ever had a gun put on you about where they was checking how fast you're actually pitching?
I was like high 50s, low 60s.
Wow, that's bringing
Listen,
it.
when we covered her there against the Pineville game, I said it a few times to Ryan that I couldn't even see the softball crossing the plate. I mean, she's throwing it with a lot of speed and velocity behind her.
I totally agree with that.
So, so, uh, so, what do you really think of yourself when you're describing yourself as a pitcher? Do you think of yourself as a power pitcher or more of a location type pitcher?
Location.
Ryan.
Well, I gotta
Yep.
gotta read this comment. It says she's getting a ton of praise from the Pineville coach. From last to this year, she's made a tremendous jump,
Yep,
and I would have to agree.
yep, that's 100% correct.
I totally agree with that. But I mean, on your schedule, uh, I see y'all don't have a home game until looks like next week. Uh, is there a reason that y'all have not played a home game yet, or is it been just the way the schedule fell this year?
Right now, the middle school team is doing home games. And then when we go to home games, they'll be doing away.
Uh, I noticed that looking at that, I thought maybe something was going on with the field or something. So I keep on forgetting. It's middle school season as well, so I kind of forget.
Caitlin, I gotta ask you this. I don't want to interrupt Ryan, and Ryan can go back to your question. But if you was pitching against me or Edward or Ryan, would they be either one of us that you would peer up there? Or do you think you'd strike all of us out?
I'd hope I'd strike y'all out.
Well, Mark, I'll go ahead and let you know they ain't none of us gonna be able to see her pitches coming across the plate because
Uh, she
I've seen
she's
her firsthand. So
she's talking about this drop ball. See, I be swinging like this, and this ball be like Japer up and under my yeah. I'm not hitting the drop ball. I'm not hitting that. Now Ryan
How about
probably
you?
could. Ryan's probably flexible enough that he could probably do like the golf shot deal.
I'll just go ahead and take my 3 strikes and sit down.
I agree.
Now I tell you what Edward would do. Edward would just step into it and get hit, so he could just take a base and say, "I would have hit that if it would have come inside on me." That Ryan. I'm right. Right. Yeah, yeah. Ryan would agree with
Listen, you gotta overlook him. Sometimes he gets carried away.
me.
He ain't had his coffee yet, or he's had too much coffee. One of the two. And so he's bringing out Baby Yoda again. Ryan, you got to do something with him.
Caitlin, do
But
you like coffee?
I'm not really, no.
No, so I was hoping you'd say that you like hot coffee or something. I can't get nobody to tell me they like hot coffee. They'll tell me they like iced coffee, but not hot coffee. You don't like neither?
No.
No. Okay.
All right. Well, so I had a couple pictures sent to me, and there's a graph that I like making for every one of the student athletes that we have on our show. And you know, Mark always tells me he likes, it, but I can't always go off what Mark says because you've got a few minutes to get to know him. He's all over the place. It's untelling what he's getting ready to be doing here in a minute. But I just kind of want to get your thoughts on the graph that I made, and it will be yours. I can send it to you, and it'll be on our Facebook pages and on our website, of course.
Yeah, I like it. Looks good.
That's a good one there.
Mark, did you put your? I was just
That's
making
a
sure
good
you
one.
had your glasses on. I mean,
Oh, that's a good one. I like how you put the background matching, like the jersey color and stuff. That's good work.
I appreciate it.
See,
So,
I'm Caitlin. Edward won't make me or Ryan a graphic like that. So, could you tell him to make us
I
one?
It's only fair to make you one.
well, listen, I've got them one made. I got a baseball field, and I got their head on first base and second base. So, I mean,
see, like where you're holding a bat and doing all these, baseball action photos and stuff. He'd be like taking pictures of me eating a taco or drinking a coffee. Ryan, at work, slaving, that'd be our little graphic deal there. But
Mark, I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. I'm sorry you had to deal with him. Yeah,
but that is sharp, and I love how you blend the colors in on that. That's sharp, and but well deserved. I mean, I agree with. It says Facebook user, but we know who made that comment, and he's absolutely right about the progress there, and just absolute machine at this point in time, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds for.
and I've got a few questions that I always love asking each athlete that we have on. But through the times that you have played, even the summer ball that you played, has there been a certain game that you have liked playing more than any other?
Mm, not really, no.
She just wants to beat them all.
Well, man,
See,
that's a good mindset
she,
to
she,
have.
she, she agrees with me.
So, is there a certain player that you like playing against more than the other?
That sort of reminds you of Michael Jordan there. She just wants to dominate. She just wants to win. She don't care who she beats and how she beats them, but she just wants to
I
win.
am.
That's a good approach.
That is. It's a good mindset. I mean,
Yeah.
and one of my last question for you. I know how I was when I was in high school, but was there a certain game that you and your team, or just you, had circled that you was looking to play in more than like the rest of the season?
Mm, maybe Knox, probably, because they're just rivals.
So Knox Central's the team that you would consider your biggest rival.
Probably, yeah.
So is there like any trash talking in that game?
Well, she's not gonna let us know about because it might get her in trouble with coach. So she's like, if I do, you're not gonna know. That's what she's saying.
And this is one of Mark's questions that I have to ask. I know we're just talking about Knox as your rival and everything, and I know you want to beat them on the field, but off the field, are you all still like friends and everything?
Yeah.
So all that must have changed since our days.
No, honestly, Caitlin, if I beat Edward 1-on-1 and he's sitting in the corner over there crying because he missed the game winning shot, I'd probably just go over there and laugh at him or kick dirt on him. That'd be the way I would do. But things has changed. You're probably somebody go over there to help him up. Well, no,
Yeah.
she's up. But she's thinking about it. Yeah. She ain't gonna answer that honestly, I don't think.
But Mark or Ryan, y'all got anything else for?
Caitlin, thank you for coming on. I know, are you on spring break right now, or
Yeah.
okay? I would say you got a school thing that you got to do, but just thank you for coming on, and it's been an awesome interview, and it's good to laugh and stuff, and I tell everybody if we could help somebody laugh, I think we've did our jobs, but. The work that you're putting in, it's just not only us. You get comments by other coaches from other teams. Uh, they see the work. They see the progress. So whatever you're doing, just keep on keeping on, and whatever you're doing, because you're working yourself into a very bright future on this game, and just wish you the best of luck on what you just decide to do at the next level. And if you do decide to go on the play softball to the next level, just remember us poor guys. Slip us a ticket every now and then. Let's go to one of them games.
Ryan?
I do want to say good luck the rest of the season,
Yep.
and hope y'all's future is very bright for y'all the rest of the season.
Yep. It
Thank
is.
you.
And Caitlin, I do want to thank you for taking the time to come on. And I'm sorry that you had to deal with Mark. First off, nah, but I do appreciate you for coming on. And looking forward to getting get out and cover you another time or two. And hopefully we can get a time set up to come down there and live stream a game down there at Barville. And best of wishes to the 13th Region All A Classic y'all got coming up, and the remainder of your season. I do appreciate you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I mean, well, Ryan
Great
disappears,
interview.
but it was a
Great,
great interview.
great interview, and you know I enjoy these interviews and Edward Ryan. You know we could sit here all night and we could say, come to these athletes, hey, tell us your thoughts of your season. Hey, do this. Hey, let's tell us about the tone of your next match. We could really do questions like that. But again, I'm somebody that looks at it from the other side. These kids, they do love sports or they wouldn't be doing it, but they've got school. They've got other things on their agenda. I'm sure on a lot of occasions, the least thing on their mind is have a bunch of somebody trying to hit them with all these hard hitting questions and stuff. So if we could help them laugh and have a good time and smile, then we probably might have made a person's night, because sometimes if you're having a bad day, the best medicine is just a smile and laugh. And if we could do that, then we did half our job.
I mean, I agree 100%. Like you said, if I can help one student athlete, I feel like I've done my job. And then if I can definitely get them to laugh, smile, then it's always a benefit when I can crack jokes about you. So I mean, that's always a plus on that. But
Like
Yeah, I totally agree,
Ryan, like Ryan
and
here,
I'm a,
you hardly ever see a serious moment with him. He wants to have a good time. He wants to enjoy life, and that's the reason why we love Ryan the way we do. And just you gotta love people like him. Also, Ryan, he takes a lot from us, but he dishes it out too. So again, we have a good time here.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up before I forget to mention it. But there's one thing tomorrow evening, weather depending, if the field is good and playable with all this rain that we've had. But we got this coming up tomorrow. So our game of the week is
Play,
Cleveland County at Middlesbrough over here in me and Edward's backyard. Yeah,
play versus
my
Middlesboro.
my graph is not as good as Edward's, but I do attempt to try to make them good.
That's a great graph, right?
Well. That leads me to my question. In this backyard, when we gonna start having them in my backyard?
We done did.
Well, that don't count.
How's that not count?
I don't know. I just thought that sounded good.
Ryan, you're going to have to do something, man. I've tried for 35 years, can't do nothing with it.
Huh?
No, but that'd be a great matchup for sure. And I'm like Ryan. I'm slowly starting to doubt it to the rain and the moisture, and I'm even hearing through the grapevine they're giving snow for tonight. So it's it's going to be really sloppy. It's but these schools and coaches and their staffs, they do great jobs keeping these fields up. I mean, we saw it firsthand when we traveled to Harlan County up there. It rained for 3 months up there. It seemed like, and they had that field ready. It looked really sharp.
Yeah, I agree. We made that trip up there, and they had it ready to go. Because I mean, hopefully weather permitting, that we are going to get to be there and get to bring everybody some baseball action. But
But
you know,
the looming question is, Ryan, is weather permitting, will ever get there? It's a looming
I,
question.
yeah, I will.
listen,
Over.
when in doubt, when in doubt, always remember Edward will be there. Remember that.
Ryan ain't saying nothing. He just stirred off.
Uh, I try to
Roger,
I try to
Roger's a
make all of
gamer.
them. I try to make it all the games. Is just what gets in the field and everything. So I try my best to try to do what I can.
No, but I'm looking forward to that, and looking to get to watch some good old baseball. I love watching softball too, and just baseball, softball, love 'em both. So just be interested. Be my first time this year going and watching Millsboro by the eye, and I've not seen Claiborne County this year, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched them play one time.
it'll be a fun matchup. I do agree. But fellas, first off, I want to again thank the student athletes for that come on the show. Isaiah and Caitlin, that was great interviews. Love getting to talk to both of them. Had a blast with them, and but all good things has got to come to an end eventually. And y'all don't have to cry. I promise. You all will see me tomorrow as long as it don't rain. So I mean, you can hold your tears in for a few hours. But any final thoughts?
Uh, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. We all know what happened in Baltimore, and I said this on Sunday. Uh, with the bridge collapse there in Baltimore. Uh, we pray for all the families and everybody that was uh, involved with that. We hope that you found comfort in that. I did not get a quote tonight because I forgot to get one. Uh, but that's what my final thoughts are.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the weather. My thoughts and prayers are going to some of the families that was firsthand that there's a lot of bad storms in our area, and just a lot in Tennessee. So hopefully property. I've not heard of any real seriousness, but if so, I've missed out on it. But uh, just prayers for family if they've been any kind of property destruction and if they've lost personal property. And we've seen the pictures of trees and some roofs blowed off of houses. And it's just that time of year, folks. And don't ever underestimate this weather, especially this time of year. It's just really, really serious stuff whenever. And when they post a warning, even if there's not a tornado or whatever on the ground, take it for serious. I even think Edwards in your area, Ryan, yesterday got a tornado warning. Um, on their part of it, went through Jellicoe, sort of looped around Whitley County, and Hitchens wide open over there. But anytime you warning or watch, take that stuff for real, because them tornadoes is nothing to mess with. And I even saw a live video from the UK campus yesterday where a girl was just literally blowed off her feet. But luckily she was all right, so she was posted on her, I guess, her Twitter account or Instagram account, showing her skinned up elbows. So, but luckily she was all right, because that could have got really, really bad.
Yeah, and we just had a comment saying that the Pineville versus Jellicoe has been moved to Pineville tomorrow. Come join us, boys, if y'all get bored. So but I know who that's from, and I do appreciate the invite. And we had another comment that said, "Great job, fellas, thank you." But no, I wanna thank you for tuning in and listening to us ramble on. And we had a previous comment that said, "This is awesome, thank you." And I know who that was from, and I just want to tell her thank you for allowing her to be able to, get to come on and talk to us there. But I'm gonna leave you with this, that this show right here, it's about any and all student athletes. It's not just about the 13th. It's not about any, just any region in particular, because I love getting to talk to them all, getting to promote them all. And, it's good being able to get all the names out there. And, looking forward to, Sunday's show and next week's show. But, I do want to tell everybody from the Bryant Family Medicine, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, but good night and God bless.